So why not turn to somebody who kind of knows what they're talking about? This is by Louise Helen, and she's funny. So definitely try to give that a shot and see how you do for you single people out there. If you don't, if you are not single, then never mind. Just skip that part. Moving on. The next one is probably my favorite book in the store currently. It's called Love Voodoo. I love this so much. It's so fun. It's not an occult book, I promise. It's funny and supposed to be taken with a grain of salt. Yes, it's grain of salt. But wreaking vengeance on your evil exes, why not flip through the pages and see what you can find? Do you like to make dolls in your spare time? You might want to check this book out. Do you want to woo somebody into a romantic relationship? Then maybe flip through the pages and see what you find. Either way, you're going to have a good time. It's funny, and it's such a riot. I love it so much. Anyway, now, for the person in your life that is a true intellect, that really loves their history, this is why you come in. Because we have a couple of books in here that are all about history, but it's also a love story at the same time. And one of them is The Love Charm of Bombs. And during the Second World War, you had the Manhattan Project, of course. And then you had the bombing of London in 1940. You had all other kinds of blitzkriegs that happened in Europe. And then you had the bombing in Hawaii. So this is a wartime chronicle seen through the eyes of different journalists and 5 prominent writers. Okay? And all of these are what happens when the places that they are at are bombed, and the love stories that happen afterwards. It's fun. It's fun. And it's really surprising. You think that it's going to be kind of a dry, tasteless kind of thing, but it's really not. It's a really good love story. So I definitely recommend that one to the discerning historian in your life. Also, bear in mind that our history section is not on sale like the romance section is, but we have really good reads for really good prices. So definitely check it out when you can. The next thing that we're going to talk about is Parallel Expeditions, which is the art of John Steinbeck and the philosophy of Charles Darwin. And it's actually called Parallel Expeditions. This is a very cool book. It's by Brian Railsback, and I can't talk today. And it's Darwin's influence on Steinbeck and on his works. If you didn't know that Steinbeck has been greatly influenced by Charles Darwin and his philosophy and evolution and that type of thing, then I suggest you give this book a read, because it is fascinating how much he absorbed from Charles Darwin. Very cool. And people like me who are really big book nerds, or bibliophiles, as we like to call ourselves, we really get this stuff, and we love this stuff in our lives. Moving on. So, now we come down to it. We come down to the part where we talk about romance novels. If you want to stop the video, I suggest you stop the video, because I'm just going to keep on going here, babies. Oh yeah, it's all good. So, as every genre, there are subgenres. There are books that are pushed aside that kind of go in this genre, but kind of go in the other genre as well. Let's talk about it a little bit, okay? So, romance suspense or romance thrillers are an up-and-coming subgenre in the romance theme genre. I can't stop saying genre. Right. But this is a really good one. Jasmine Cresswell. Okay, she is a romance novelist. She writes for Harlequin on occasion, as well as Kensington Books, and she writes a really good suspense series called The Missing. These are, it's so good. These are really good books that you can just really kind of dig into very, very quickly. Yes, it's a romance. Yes, there's a love story. But there's twists and plot turns every which way. You think you know who did it, but you're totally surprised at the end. It's the best friend, or it's the mom of all people, that type of thing. And they are so good. Well thought out, well plotted, very, very firm devices, and the characters, the heroines, usually more often than not, the female characters are really, really well thought out characters, well defined, well formed. There are great plot devices in every single book that I have come across. Are there some that are just, wishy-washy trash? Yeah, probably. But then there's gold. And Jasmine Creswell is actually a really good writer, and I totally recommend that you dig into it if romance doesn't bother you. Moving on. So, if you're not going to read the Outlander series, which I recommend that you do because they're so good. Diana Gabaldon, if you're watching, I love you. All right. There are multiple book series in romance right now that are historical fiction, but they're not just historical fiction, they're Scottish historical fiction. And one of the ones that I found great to read through was The Devil Wears Plaid by Teresa Medeiros. The Devil Wears Plaid. I love it so much. Okay, so and the little quip underneath it is, he captured her body, but will she steal his heart? All right. The plot device is there's a Scottish laird that's about to marry this woman she doesn't want to marry him at all. When the Scottish laird's enemy walks through the door, kidnaps the girl, and runs off to the Highlands, and then they fall in love. I think. Maybe. Spoiler alert. All right, so this is a really good novel. And I totally recommend it. We've got a lot of other great Scottish historical fiction books in here that are funny. They're plot-driven. They're really dramatic, and they're so Scottish. I love it so much. I love that. So definitely check this one out if you want to. This is a great book. So, The Devil Wears Plaid. All right, so the next one that we're going to talk about is a little bit of the paranormal. So paranormal has become its own genre. It's become a category of books that everything kind of gets tossed at it to see what kind of sticks. There's paranormal thrillers, paranormal suspense. There's paranormal romances, and then there's paranormal mysteries and paranormal fiction. It's like everything mashed to see what the new category can handle. So this is one of those times where you don't really know where to put it. Do you put it in with your mysteries because it's a mystery, but it has ghosts in it? So do you put it upstairs in dark fantasy because it's contemporary, or do you not? But you can also put it in romance because it's Heather Graham and it's a romance novel. Like, where do you put it? Either way you go, and I know where these are, so just ask if you're really interested. You're going to have a good time because Heather Graham is a fantastic writer. Fantastic writer. I really like her stuff. And this one, Ghost Night, is part of a three-book series on ghosts. This one is the second. I have the first and the third one here. I just pulled this one out because it's pretty. I like it. It's unrelenting, and it's suspenseful. Like, you don't know. You honestly do not know what's going to happen in this book, and that's why I kind of love it so much. So definitely give this one a try, or buy this for someone you know that loves ghost stories, because this is a great ghost story. It's so good. Anyway. So for those of you out there that need a little contemporary, need a little modern day type of read, I suggest Gina Showalter. Now, Gina Showalter was in Harlequins, but she kind of started to branch out. She also has a book series in our teen section, which is actually really, really good. It's the Chronicles of Nick, and I totally recommend those. And this one is a really good one. Can't Hardly Breathe. It's fun, and it's snarky. They're sarcastic, they're hilarious, and they are unrelenting in their wit, but they love each other just the same, and I love that. I really do love contemporary writers nowadays that are pulling in the sass from pop culture. That makes my heart happy. So Gina Showalter is a great writer, so definitely check her out. We've got her in spades here. And then comes my personal favorite, Nora Roberts. Now, this one is book one of the N. Boonesboro trilogy. Okay, there we are. And this one is The Next Always. I've read this so many times it's stupid, but these books are great. And the first thing that I'm going to tell you about is it's about a bookstore. Bookstores. So that made my giddy heart happy. And this is also about a three brothers and their addiction to three best friends, basically. And the in Boonesboro book one, The Next Always, is about a bookstore owner that falls in love with a architect that builds an inn. It's fun. It's really good, actually. I really liked it. I related to it a lot because bookstore owner, hello, and also she's got kids, and they don't, more often than not, there are no kids in romance novels, which I think is a crying shame because I have children, and I relate more to a character when they do have children. That's just me. So definitely check this one out. It's because it's a really good trilogy, well written, and it's just fun. So the last one that I'm going to do here, and there is a last one because this has gone on for a while now, is Fern Michaels' Southern Comfort. Fern Michaels is great because even though, that's her in the back, she's adorable, she's very sarcastic. She's witty, intelligent, and she brings the type of intelligence and snark to her writing style, which I really appreciate. And she writes about Kentucky, and people from around here in Springfield, most of their relatives are from Kentucky, so this is good. I definitely recommend it. She's got this, and she's also got Kentucky Sunrise and Return to Sender, which is all in Kentucky-based romances, which I really appreciate because my mother's family are from Kentucky, and I love them so much. They're so much fun down there. So that's it. This has been probably my longest video to date, and bless you if you got through it. So definitely come in, check us out, see what we've got going on. We've got a lot, obviously, and if you need any help, just let me know, and I will happily find you some books you never knew that you needed in your life, because that's what I do, and that's what Dave does here at Raven Books. Y'all have a great Wednesday, and I hope that you come see us. Bye.